Hey guys, it's Vivid Sniper here. I just wanted to make this video just to discuss to you guys about the Etika situation. So basically, what happened recently, like about an hour ago, um, Etika has been shown missing, and people can't find him. He made a video I think a day ago, talking about just the whole situation with his mental health issues and how it's been affecting him. And it seemed like more or less a suicidal call for help, or just, yeah, basically a suicide note, basically. And I just want to talk to you guys about this because this is a very sad, very, 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 very sad topic, and it makes me sad as well. So I just want to talk to you guys about how just my story in general, and how I feel like I resonate with Etika and his situation. So in my life, um, through my adolescence and as a kid, I grew up in a very strict family, a very logical and down to the point family. You know, like you gotta be the best of the best, or you're nothing, basically. And in this family, these people would pressure me and tell me that, yo, you gotta be the best, right? And I was a very young kid. Like they would do this at the age of 6, 7, 8, and I would basically try my best to impress them. So when I was in school and stuff, constantly when I'm like each grade and stuff, I would feel like inadequate to my parents because I had trouble in school. I had trouble focusing. I had trouble at a young age. I had trouble with certain things because, first of all, I didn't want to do these things. Like for me, I'm more of a creative thinker, right? A lot of people would assume this is like ADHD or something like that, but it was more or less I just didn't want to do the work, and I felt like the work was not creative enough. I wasn't doing what I love to do, right? But I had to do it, right? So I still did the work, but at the same time, I had this mentality when I was a kid. Like it was just because I was still really, really young, right? So I didn't take school seriously, right? So my parents and my brothers, right? I had an older brother. He would constantly make me feel like I had get good grades, and he would do this one by one, enforcing it because the way he would enforce it was very bad in my opinion. He would physically hit me if I didn't get my work done, or if I didn't work on my education, and I didn't uh, be at the top of my game in school. Right? You could say that that's tough love, but it's not. It's really not. That's what I thought at the time, right? Because I was taught that beating up your child is normal at the time because that was in my culture. I grew up in a very Islamic culture, so my family would be like pro hitting their kids, right? They thought that that was discipline, right? So my brother would extremely like whenever I talked back to my mom or I'd made a mistake, would hit me or put a consequence on me, like make me not play my games or do certain things that was very cruel, right? And I was always scared to do anything after that because I was scared that what the punishment was. How was I gonna get hit? When it was gonna happen? If I said anything, if I did anything, you know. So I was scared at school to ever make a mistake or fail, right? So that was when my mentality had where I became like later on. This is when I became a teenager. Like I had this mentality where I had to be perfect at everything. I had this mentality that wasn't healthy. That was just like I have to be perfect at school. I have to be perfect at my job. I gotta get this perfect, this, that to please my family, you know. And I was never happy when I did that. I was never happy when I went to school every single day. I worked. I drew. Like basically, like I'm an artist, right? So I would work and do these all these courses and stuff like that I had to do, obviously, but it wasn't really my passion, right? And I would try to make all my work perfect, and instead of just handing it in, I would just say, "Oh, it's not perfect enough," and I would I would miss deadlines because I would keep trying to make my work perfect, perfect, perfect instead of just handing it in, and I would end up like getting bad grades because I didn't hand it in nothing because my thing was unfinished, right? Because I kept trying to be perfect, 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 better than the other kids, better than this, and it was just the constant fear of what my family thought of me or what these things happen. Like I always feared what they would say, um, how people would see me, and I would always feel depressed. Like I would see all these kids pass in their classes, and I would just feel like shit. I would feel like, wow, man, maybe I'm not good enough or I'm worthless or stuff like that. I would feel things that kids shouldn't feel, right? And my brother and my family would just constantly put that pressure on me and pressure on me and pressure on me, and it kept getting to me and kept getting to me, and it's like I started to become more or less. I was more or less just starting to become more and more like aggressive and more like I didn't think things through. I was more impulsive and stuff like that, and it was to the point where I didn't know how to vent my own issues. So I would vent my own issues sometimes physically. So, like, say if a kid were to bother me or some shit like that, I would sometimes just like fight them or do certain things like that because I didn't know how to vent my own issues. Like, I didn't know how to fight my own battles or tell my mom to stop doing certain things, or my brother to stop hitting me or things like that. So I would fight with other kids or vent my anger out of school, and like because I lived in a very like a ghetto area, right? So I would get into brawls and scraps and shit, and I would be like I wanted to feel like that power, right? Because my family would take that power from me constantly, right? So I wanted to have that power, right? So I was like a big leader in my group, so I would just fight with people and act like tough and be like that tough guy. So I had that aggressive tough guy persona, you know. And honestly, I regret all of it, right? I regret completely doing all that stuff, right? But I gotta realize that I was a very young person. I was impressionable. I didn't know what I was doing, and the past doesn't define you, right? So as I grew up, I grew up. Most of my brothers would move out the house and stuff like that. And one of my brothers, the same one that used to hit me a lot, he was in prison for gang-related reasons, right? So you can see that the reason why he's the way he is because of obviously he's a bad apple, right? I don't want to just to say that, but it's the truth, right? So my family, even though very very toxic and very disorganized and distangled, right? I still loved them. I still cared about them, right? But the way they raised me was raising me into a machine that only benefits them. It wasn't for my own happiness, right? Maybe they probably had good intentions when things they did, right? But at the same time, it was stuff that wasn't making me happy, right? So now here I am. I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of situations. I grew out of it. I've been through heartbreaks with relationships. I've been through lots of fights with family, even fights outside of family. Cut off a lot of friends. And now I'm here right now, right? So this roundabout point I'm trying to make is like I know what Etika's going through. I know the feeling of isolation. I've been through isolation. I've been through pain and situations where you feel like you're not good enough and you feel like committing suicide and you feel like the world would be better off without you, right? I felt that multiple times. I felt like that, committed suicide multiple times when I was young. There's times where I'll be walking and I'll just have these very, very bad thoughts. And I wouldn't wish those bad thoughts to anyone, you know? I would cry, I would feel like this, and I wouldn't tell anyone, right? I wouldn't tell anyone about it. And I'll tell you this right now, Etika, man. If you're watching this, or if you ever watch this, if anyone watches this, Etika, you are enough. You are enough. You deserve happiness, and no one deserves to feel like this. You don't deserve to feel like this. I understand you want to be considerate to other people, and you feel bad. It's understandable, man. But don't put all the blame and pressure on yourself. Realize, man, you're an amazing person, and people love you for who you are. We all make mistakes. We all do certain things that hurts people, right? But those are all lessons. And as long as you learn from those mistakes, people will forgive you. People will understand, and you got to realize that sometimes in life, things happen for a reason, you know? When we go through certain situations, they're only there to make you a better person. They're not there to break you. They're not there to make you feel like you're awful. It's just to strengthen you and make you stronger. Just like me, when I changed that mentality, when I stopped feeling like I'm always gonna be sad or I'm always gonna think. When I started to be more positive and more happy, I started to realize and reflect back on all my issues, right? And I started to realize that what all these issues in the past taught me and the lessons they gave me, and how irreplaceable these lessons are. And after I learned them, I became a much stronger and confident person. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done a lot of bad things to people in my past, right? And people did a lot of bad things to me. All I did was learn my lesson, move on from those people, move on from these old habits that don't help me. And I realized that anything that didn't give me happiness, I cut out my life. It didn't matter what those people, who these people were. If it was a thing, it was a job, it was an environment, I cut them out of my life in a healthy, balanced way. Etika, please, if you're going through something and you need help, ask someone. There's so many people around you that love you, man. There's so many people, thousands of people that love you, Etika, man. So never feel like you're not good enough. I get there's there's the toxic people in your fan base that feel entitled and stuff, but please, Etika, man, you are good enough. You are worthy of happiness. Please don't ever feel like you're not worthy, man. And I feel so bad for you and this situation, man, because I've seen it all happen. I've seen it happen to other people. I've seen it happen to myself. But I know you're strong enough to get through this. So please, if you ever get through this, please change, fix your life, get some serious mental help. Ask someone for help. Fix your life, and try your best to just cut out all the bullshit in your life. See things for what they are. Let go of all the illusions and the biases and the toxic people in your life, whether it be fans, friends, or family. Keep the people who are good for you around me. Let go of the people who are entitled, the little toxic trolls in your fan base. Let them go. Fuck all of them. And you know what? Just love yourself, man, and take care of yourself, man. And I really hope that everything's okay with you. And for all the people who are watching this video, this is a video for you guys as well, talking about mental health and why it's so important. Why it's so important to be in this world that we live in, this very chaotic, busy world where people never even get a chance to just breathe or relax and take a break. Why it's so important for self-care and to love yourself. So everyone watching this video, please take care of yourself. If you're feeling like you're going through something, there's always someone else there to help you. There's suicide hotlines, suicide prevention stuff. You can always talk to someone. So if you ever feel like you're going through something, there's many people going through it as well. So don't ever feel like you're alone. You're never alone. Ask someone for help. Alright, so anyways, thank you guys. I just wanted to bring this message. I love all of you. Wish you guys the best. Like, comment, subscribe if you want. Yeah, I just wanted to make this video.